Okay, hello everybody. So, very quick video here going through what we are doing in English today. There'll be a second video as well, which goes into more detail about specifically what you're doing. But this one will just go through generally what you're doing today. These last 2 weeks of term, just to give you a little outline, we're going to be working towards one final piece of writing. So we've got a couple of punctuation grammar lessons, some planning, some research, and some actual sort of like writing up. So pretty standard, pretty much what you're used to anyway. So the first lesson, so lesson 1 for the last 2 weeks, we're doing a punctuation lesson today. We're going to be looking at colons and semicolons, which I know for some of you probably filled with utter dread now, but it's okay. Once you get your head around these, it becomes very easy to just slot them into your writing without even really thinking about it. And you'll probably find that you've actually written a lot over the last sort of like 5 months where you could have quite easily replaced that accidental comma with a colon or a semicolon. So once you recognize how to use it, you should be able to slip it in quite easily. So don't worry too much. So colons you're very familiar with from when you've had to write a list. Semicolons can be used in a list as well. So we'll go through how we're going to be using colons and semicolons in slightly different ways today. So there's a second video. You can see it up here. I have linked it on this, but this will be separate on the website. So where you've clicked to open this video up, there'll be a video just below this one, which is a video talking all about colons and semicolons. I think it's about 2-3 something minutes long. And you can, again, a bit like this video, you can stop and pause this video as well, which would be really helpful. Here, just got a little picture here, just a little cartoon here. Why are you crying? Nobody understands me. And then I just put 2 examples here, which you might want to refer back to at some point, just trying to show the difference between colons and semicolons. And I've also put down here, again, this is to refer back to when you're doing the work. Obviously, you can watch the video, but these are just taken from that. So colons, here's the symbol here, so 2 dots, one above the other. And also just note, I've drawn a line here. I've done a line here on purpose to show you where they should be placed on a line. Don't have them flying up in the air or anything. They need to be sort of like sat there nicely. So colons can be used in a list. You're all very good at using colons in a list. Not worried about that at all. And then we've got here, it says to join 2 clauses. The second clause gives more information about the first. And then this here, this little explanation here, I've just taken this, I've screenshotted this from the video up here, the video that's linked on our Home Learning Hub. And this says a colon is used before describing or further explaining something previously mentioned in a sentence or when introducing a list. So again, I'll just read it again here. It's used before describing or further explaining something you previously mentioned. So here, what my first little bit here, my sentence. So vampires are evil. Fine. We've got a colon here. Second half of my sentence says they suck blood. So remember here it says it's used before describing or further explaining. I am further explaining here with the they suck blood. I'm explaining in further detail why vampires are evil. I could have just said vampires are evil, but I've explained a little bit further why they are evil. And that's the perfect spot to put a colon. Again, it's just one example. Video goes through some more. And then semicolons all the way down here. So they join 2 independent clauses and that's important to remember. Colons can be used slightly differently. You don't have to have two full clauses when you use a colon. They join two independent clauses, and it says here that a semicolon sometimes can act as a conjunction. So they are coordinating conjunctions such as like and but, or things like that. And it says they have to share a common theme. Share a theme. So a semicolon, so this one here, you can see up here, it's like the colon, but it has a dot and then a comma underneath. So just like the placement of the colon has to sit on the line, just like this, just above it. Not flying too high, not flying too low, just nicely on that line here, as you can see. So a semicolon is used to link phrases. It is a better transition between two full related sentences than a full stop, as it continues the thought. So it's better than two related sentences. So a semicolon it helps the sentences like flow together a bit more, rather than having two quite abrupt sentences. So if we scroll back up. So here we've got an example in red. It was really cold and wet. Semicolon, they wanted to go home. So again, both of these can be independent clauses by themselves. We could have put a full stop here, but we just made two quite repetitive sounding sentences. But this use of the semicolon here, they're both related. They're both talking about what's going on, the weather, wanting to go home, not being very nice. It was really cold and wet. They wanted to go home. So that's just one of many, many examples. So this page here, you'll be able to look at this page again on the Home Learning Hub. This is all just here for a little bit of reference for you, if you need to look back at anything for a bit of reminding. And I go on to my next page. Your task for today, you've got a copy of this sheet attached on the Home Learning Hub separately. So this is just on here to show you. I'll show you in the PDF. So this is what you're going to see when you download it. So we've got a 2-star and a 3-star option. So 2-star, so obviously if you print it out, you can obviously do the punctuation straight onto the sheet. Obviously, if you haven't got a printer, which is also fine, you just have to handwrite them out. I would say even if you do have a printer, if we had been in class, then in school, I would have expected you to have handwritten this, because it would have doubled up as handwriting practice. We would have done them both together, like a double whammy. So 2-star is doing these sentences. So section number 1, you've got 7 sentences, and you have to insert the colon in the correct place. And then part number 2, again, you've got 7 more sentences, and you have to insert the semicolons in the correct places in the sentences. And then down the bottom are the answers for all of them. And then once you've done all 14 of these sentences, again, it'll take you a bit longer to handwrite it. Good, it's always good practice to handwrite. 3-star for you to complete afterwards. Again, 3 stars is always optional. If you're in class, obviously, and you finished early, you would move on to the 3-star. Write 4 sentences of your own, 2 using colons and 2 using semicolons. So you can have a go at writing your own examples out. What I often find quite helpful when you first start coming to writing sentences with colons and semicolons is take an example of something that you know is a correct example, and then try and tweak it a little bit. So don't try and make one completely from scratch. Maybe take one of these sentences and just try and rephrase it, to just help practice, like help to practice coming up with them yourself, really. Yeah, obviously this is optional. Give it a go. It's always good practice. And obviously the aim for the next 2 weeks is going to be to try and include both of these things in your piece of writing. So I think that is pretty much it. So you have got a copy of these 2 slides on the Home Learning Hub. You've got a copy of this document also, and this video, hopefully you already found. The video of the colons and semicolons will be underneath this one on the Home Learning Hub. And if you need any help, just please get in contact.